Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Arsenal Way podcast with me, Samrid and Himashwin. We're a brand new Arsenal channel, two passionate Gunus from India. Please subscribe, like our channel. We're present on all social media places as well. We have a Twitter handle at the Arsenal Way. We have a Facebook page at the Arsenal Way, and of course on YouTube. So click the bell icon, subscribe to our channel. You'll get notified whenever we put out new content. Um, Moving forward, Ashwin, it's I generally thought after being 3-0 away, 3-0 against Watford, we wouldn't play the way we did, but we did. It was a nothing game for us, completely inconsequential, but Watford, of course, had a lot on the line. They had to win to stay up. Um, it was as fun as the first 30 minutes were. It was um, frustrating watching the next 60 because everything that is gone wrong this season that is terrible about Arsenal was typified by those 60 minutes. And Arteta, as I'm sure you saw, was furious right throughout the game at just how terribly we were playing. We can't defend. That's something when if your best defender is Mustafi and you're struggling even after that, then you know how bad things are. But I'm glad the season's over, if nothing else. And the one final game to look forward to with a chance of silverware. But I'm glad the season is done, and yeah, and we relegated Watford, so I think that's a good thing.
uh, all the good work and all the good efforts that the team has put in the last 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe over the past month or so since COVID, the lockdown. I mean, since we resumed, it all seemed to have like gone away in that game against Watford. Like we were 3-0 up, and then suddenly Watford had, I think, ended with 16 shots on goal. Was it that? It brought back memories of when we went to Watford this season with Unai Emery as manager, and when they had 26 or 24 shots on goal. And
30.
so
No, actually, we had 31 shots on goal and 50 something over the course of two games.
yeah, so it felt very uneasy again. It felt like same old Arsenal. There's a video doing the rounds where I think the Watford team was on a counter and Xhaka's like just strolling over there. And for a person who we've given a lot of flack to, seemed to have done really well, have recovered really well. For him to just, I see. I understand it's a dead game. It didn't really do much for us. Whether you finish eighth or you finish ninth or 10th, it doesn't really matter. I don't think 4 or 5 million makes that much of a difference. It's terrible finishing in those positions anyway. So I understand the players were not there. They don't want to risk an injury before playing the cup final. Plus, Xhaka was already on a yellow card. He didn't want to probably push the referee, and Mike Dean wanting to make himself the main guy always could have basically shown him another yellow and spoiled his chances of being in the final. So I understand all that, but you're right. If I was Arteta, I would have been pissed because all that we seem to have learned and done so well, we seem to have just let go in the space of 60, 70 minutes, and it looked very, very bad. I don't think we have defenders at the club right now who are comfortable playing with a back two. We have to play with a back three. I don't think Holding and Luis can play together in a back two. I don't think uh, Socrates and Holding or Socrates and Luis can play in a back two anymore. Um, so if we have to uh, beat Chelsea or at least compete with them, we have to go with the back three. I think that's where we're most comfortable right now. That's Mikel seemed to have found that sort of balance in the team where he's got five defenders and he's got those two guys protecting the back five. So maybe he tried something different because at the end of the day, Mikel's also an attacking manager and he wants to play that 4-3-3, but he just doesn't seem to have the sort of players to have that 4-3 to work that 4-3-3 system. Um, what was also appalling was I know the team wanted Aubameyang to get the golden boot, and there was a chance right at the end when Watford were attacking us, and we hit them on the counter where Eddie was clean on goal, and instead of scoring, he passed it to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang scuffed his chance. Um, I don't know, man. Like I know you're trying to help your teammate, but in a situation like that, had Watford gone on the other side and equalized or even maybe won the game, that would have been one of those mistakes we'd have looked at and said, you know what, we should have buried the chance there and finished it there only. At the end, it didn't hurt us, but it's stuff like that that you have to be selfish and not only and think about the team more than anything else. I know it's not like Aubameyang was crying for the ball or screaming for the ball, but it's something like this that shows that Arsenal don't have that killer instinct in them as yet, and differentiates them from the top teams. But yeah, glad that the season is over. It's been the longest season ever. Obviously, we've had a break for 3 months in between, but it's literally gone on for a year. Started off with Unai Emery. Started off with us slagging off Unai Emery, with him getting the sack a little too late, and Arteta joining us. But glad this is over and we move on from here. Hopefully, we have some sort of transfer budget in the market, and we can provide Arteta with some sort of decent cover. And to because if we stick around with these players, we're done. We're entering a season where every team is going to invest. Everybody is going to want to bridge that gap between first and, I mean, you see the gap between first and second place. There was, I think, there's a 14-point gap there. Between first and third place, United finished third. They're on 66 points. Liverpool finished with 99 points. There's a 33-point gap between first and third. So every team is going to want to bridge that gap. There was almost a 45 point gap between Liverpool and us, and that's criminal for Arsenal to finish anywhere so far behind. So I don't know how we're going to do it. We talk about Arsenal wanting to outsmart the market. I don't think we can outsmart the market anymore, because there are other teams who are doing much better in that prospect. We need to be. I don't know if I don't know if strong's the word, but we need to be not only smart, but we need to back a manager who has shown promise and shown some signs of improvement. And if we don't, we're done for it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. 43-point gap between us and Liverpool. The traditional five big clubs. I mean, I'm not counting Spurs because they're Spurs, but all our four of our biggest rivals, the four biggest games at the eight biggest games you look forward to every season. Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United, all finished top four. Liverpool, I think, will probably also strengthen. City will, of course, strengthen for sure. Chelsea have already ahead of the curve with Hakim Ziyech and Werner, and apparently Kai Havertz as well. They're looking for a new keeper, new left back.
Linked with a
United
move
are, of course,
for
looking.
One Oblak, by the way, Chelsea.
Yeah, they're also looking. They're also looking at United looking at getting a superstar forward as well, because Bruno has been fabulous for them since he's come in. He's definitely contributed in terms of quality for that team. So we have a lot of work to do. I this and you're right. This squad cannot sustain. I can count 8 players, I think, who should not be there next season. But again, let's not. We can talk about this in more detail once we're done with the cup final. I think um, just coming back to how we played, we have no choice but to play um, holding Luis and Kolasinac over the weekend. Mustafi is out for long-term injury, and apparently that, so now he's someone who we thought we should get rid of. I don't think we will be able to now. So I do think that he will play Tierney, Luis, and Holding as a three at the back, with the toss-up between Saka and Kolasinac as the left wing back. With the right back, of course, I think will be Bellerin, with Ainsley playing against Watford. So I don't think Ainsley will play. It will probably be, that would be my back five, with Xhaka and Ceballos, of course. No looking outside of that, and of course Pepe, Lacazette, and Auba up front. I think that would be the lineup he will go with. If it was Mustafi, it probably been Mustafi in place of Holding, or Mustafi in place of Kolasinac. But yeah, I think that would how that I think that is where the focus will be. I think what's done is done now. Let's just move on, see what happens in the game.
I know you've already given me a formation for the team, but what are your feelings for the game? You think we stand a chance? We played the same team last year in Baku, which went really badly for us. We were all expecting a win. Came back with a drubbing. They hammered us 4-1. I remember Hazard having the game of his life, Giroud scoring against us. And again, at that, it was one of those games where Chelsea had already secured qualification for the Champions League, so they really weren't playing for anything. We had the pressure where we needed to win that Europa League final to get in the Champions League, and we squandered that chance massively last year. Comes down to the same thing again. We play Chelsea in the FA Cup final. They've secured European football. They've got Champions League, and we are basically playing this final to get that position. Okay, it's not going to be the Champions League, but it's going to be Europa League, and it's significant in terms of us getting that sort of extra cash, revenue for us to sign players and improve our squad. So again, the pressure is completely on Arsenal. Um, I don't know how it's going to work out. I was confident after we beat City, but after the games after City has not been the best. Loss against Aston Villa and a very shaky last minute win, not a last minute, but a very shaky win against Watford doesn't really fill me with confidence. Um, I don't know. Chelsea look good right now. Even though they got hammered by Liverpool, they played some good football. They've got people coming off the bench that can make a difference. They've got and Lampard seems to have got his team firing. They've got Champions League, so they're going to be playing with full confidence. And it's a young, exciting squad. But yeah, I don't know how we're going to set up. If Arsenal of what from the last two games show up, we're definitely doomed, and we're not going to look at a good result there at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. If we play the same way, we're done. We're not going to get anything out of the game. I just think Arteta. I'm just relying on Arteta to find a way. And of course, I'll give the players some benefit of doubt that they were taking it easy because there's a cup final after like 6 days. Give them that benefit of doubt, but we cannot play in the same manner and expect to get away with it. Also, I think the players need to realize that this is their chance for redemption for a season that's just been really crap. Uh, and I'm sure Arteta will make them realize that he understands what the FA Cup means for Arsenal, because I mean we're the more winners for the most number of times for this competition, record holders, and it's a chance at silverware for Arteta as well. So I would hope that the seriousness is there, and um, if it happens, great. I think we'll be over the moon for holding the FA Cup aloft again. But we cannot play the same way. I was real, and again, I'm just gonna coming back to the Mustafi piece. I'm really dreading us on Saturday how we're gonna defend, because we cannot defend the same manner.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Before I get into like predictions and what the score lines are going to be, you've got to give props to Frank Lampard for a season he's had. He's obviously was didn't have the sort of transfer window that any of usually Chelsea have. He was hamstrung by that. They weren't allowed to sign any players. He shipped out some mature heads and lost one of the best players in their team in Hazard, and still managed to get top four with a very young team. Played some good, attractive football. Played some fearless football, and it paid off for him. So, thoughts on how Chelsea have done and how Lampard has gone for them?
um, I think Chelsea have lost more games than us this season. Um, they've also won a lot more and they've drawn a lot less. So I think that sort of fits in with the narrative of Lampard. He's an attacking coach, and he ensures his team goes out for the win always. There was an interesting stat that we've dropped 15 points from winning positions this season. So that 15 points would have added to our score. Currently, our score. I'm sorry, added to our point tally would have made us finish third. So, like, I mean, it's a cliche, but the only way that we lose this game is if Arsenal beat Arsenal and not Chelsea beat Arsenal, because I think that we can beat the Chelsea team. We had them on the ropes at the Emirates. It was the early days of Arteta. We could finish it because we were down to 10 men. I think that game. I think we got someone sent off. Oh no, I think we were just tired. I think we just ran out of steam towards the end for that game.
That was the game that we lost, right? Where Tammy Abraham scored.
we lost that game? I think it was because we ran out of steam, or was it because we had a player sent off?
We had a player sent off at Stanford Bridge. It was David Luiz that got sent off.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, right,
we
right,
drew that game 2-2 though.
right. So
That
it's there.
produced one of the best goals of the season for me.
Goal of
Martinelli.
the season, yeah,
Yeah.
Martinelli. Yeah, I remember that. No, I'm saying the game at the Emirates. Did we lost that because of a player getting sent off, or was that because of tiredness? I
Yeah,
think it was because the player got sent off, and then we just couldn't defend anymore for like
was it
the
Ainsley that
last
got sent
half an
off?
hour.
It's possible that Ainsley got sent off.
I
I don't
forget.
know.
I forget. But I'm saying that I think we can beat this team. Um, I
I
just
mean,
hope that we
you've seen the brilliance of what we've done. We've gone and beaten Liverpool and City in 1 week, and then the next week we've gone and lost to Aston Villa.
lost to Villa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it just depends. Like you're right, it depends on which Arsenal shows up, and it's Arsenal versus Arsenal
If
instead of
yeah,
Chelsea versus.
if we show up like how we know we have, or in the season, the Wolves game, the City game, the Liverpool game, um, we can win, um, and we can win. I wouldn't say comfortably, but with relative ease. I just don't think that like I'm prepared for the worst. I wouldn't. If we win fabulous, I'm not. This season has anyway been a complete write off for me. So if we win fabulous, icing on the top of a shit sandwich, that has been the season. If we don't, well, uh, we move on for next season and we deal with Chelsea in the league.
Yeah, I think we got to look at it that way. That if we win, we can basically cap off a really bad season by saying at least we won a trophy, and it gives Arteta and the squad that sort of confidence and lift for next season. If we don't, it's not like we've had anything great to shout about the season. It's been terrible. You and me both have been crying out about how bad the season has been, and we're just wanting it to end. I remember when the COVID situation happened, the two of us spoke about just canning the season and not restarting it again. And but yeah, it's just been one of those seasons for us. I don't think we've finished outside the top six for over 25, 30 years. For us to have that sort of season that we've had has been appalling. Um,
Like,
but
I mean, if you, I know we can get into this at a later day, but next season you'll have a very good Leeds United coming up. You'll have a decent West Brom side coming up. You'll have the other big clubs significantly strengthened. I don't think Spurs will, because I think they've got loan issues and whatnot.
I think there were two,
But
three, 800 and some 20 million debt to repay, loan to
yeah,
repay.
I don't know how much. I'm not sure how much Spurs will strengthen, but
But knowing that,
um,
I don't think Jose would go to a club knowing he doesn't have money to spend. They went and spent 30 million on Bergwijn, even though they spent that 50, 60 million on Lo Celso in the start of the summer. I'm pretty sure.
right. But then they did recoup some of it from Ericsson as well.
Yeah,
So I think they'll do what I think what's gonna happen with them is
sell their
what's been
stars.
happening with us. What with us, sell their stars and find like younger talent and that they can get rid of, because no way does Daniel Levy lose money on players. He's that sort of guy.
So does
But yeah,
that
again, I'm
mean
sure we can talk about. Yeah, I'm sure this is something more of an end of season review. But I think um, there is need for Arteta. Either ways, he needs to be backed. It's not just whether we win the FA
yeah,
Cup or not. We need to give him the players over two windows, 2 summers, hopefully, and hopefully Arsenal fans are not too
impatient?
impatient more than anything else. So yeah, we lose if we shoot ourselves in the foot. Otherwise, I think we win. I'm hoping we don't, which is why I think I'm going for a win. I think it'll be a 2-1 to the Arsenal.
It's pretty optimistic of you. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this game. I would. The only way I see us winning is if we draw this game and then taking it to extra time or penalties and then beating them. I think over 90 minutes, the squad needs to, unless they're like really focused, and Chelsea are nowhere to. I mean, they've already gone on their vacation and they're really happy with everything. But I don't see that happening. I think Lampard will have his players up for it because it's a chance for Lampard to win a trophy in this first season as well. So I'm sure he's going to be up for it. And it's a London derby at the end of the day. It's going to be a big game for a lot of players. I'm sure Giroud is going to want to impress because he's going to be. I mean, he did that in Baku as well last year. So I don't know. I don't have a good feeling for this game at all.
Do you think? Okay, I mean, before I know this is all in retrospect now and hindsight, but before we end, do you think letting go of Giroud was a good move? I don't think it was at the time. I still don't think it was, especially how he's been playing. But I didn't think it was a good move at the time.
See, the thing is, for the amount of so I never found Giroud as a prolific striker. He was always one of those guys that would get us about 10 to 12 goals a season. But what he did, which a lot of people didn't notice, was he would get a lot of goals for people running off him. I
Yeah,
remember Aaron Ramsey having the season that he did under him was because Giroud was the guy who was the main guy who would lay off the balls. Similarly to the
Ozil
World
got
Cup.
his highest number of assists. Ozil got his highest number of assists with Giroud as a striker, and it was because of Giroud who didn't score for 12 games that cost us the league title.
So imagine Ozil had 19 assists till about Feb, and then after that he didn't register a single assist in the season.
Because
Kevin
Ozil
De
wasn't
Bruyne,
firing. Because Giroud wasn't firing. Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne has Aguero, Jesus, Raheem Sterling, Sane to play for him, and
Mahrez,
Mahrez who play in front of him,
Mahrez,
and with on the last day has managed to equal Thierry Henry's
20 assists,
20 assists after 15 years, 14 years. Yeah, and Henry did that. Henry did that, scoring 24 goals as well. So
24 goals also.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's I don't know. It's if we're going to play with a back two, like if you and me mentioned, Giroud's going to eat both Luis and Holding. I think the only way to control them is play the back three. I have a feeling.
Yeah, no way do we play a back two on
No,
Saturday. It's not happening.
I have a feeling he goes. I don't think he should play Kolasinac. I think it's going to be Luis, Tierney, and Holding in defense with
With Saka as left back.
Saka as left back, flanking him there. And I don't know. It's going to be a toss up between Hector and unless he plays Ainsley again in that position, so he can control who's on their right. Mason Mount. So he can control Mason Mount. I don't know. Willian. I think Willian's on their right. So let's see. I think it's a toss up, but yeah, Granit Xhaka is important in that midfield, and so is Danny Ceballos. They need to defend really well. They need to be switched on. I think the front three is going to be. Uh, he might not start with the front three of Oba, Laka, and Pepe. He might start with Oba and Laka. Maybe someone like a Reece Nelson or a Joe Willock plays, so he that extra defensive body is there in midfield, or
Yeah,
somebody
but
who can defend.
but in a cup final, I don't think Willock offers all that much going forward. The number of times Oba was through, had chances to go through on goal, and Willock just
Oba and Laka.
chose the easy
Correct.
side. Both
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
and Willock chose to go for the easy sideways pass instead of a through ball. So I don't think it's there. I think Willock there's definitely a need for him to go out on loan
Hmm.
um, in the coming season, because I don't think he's ready for the Premier League at least.
All right, so you predicted a 2-1 win to us. I am extremely worried about this game. I don't think it's going to go well for us. I think it's going to be someone's going to get sent off, and that someone's going to be probably from our team, and we're going to probably end up losing 2-1. I feel uh, it's not something I want to predict, but I'm not getting a good vibe from this game at all. I hope
Well,
I'm proven wrong, because there'll be nothing greater than watching Arsenal prove me wrong and lift up a trophy in a really shitty season. But I don't think that's going
I
to
mean,
happen.
we've beaten Chelsea in the finals before. We have the chance to I mean, there's so many. So we have a chance for redemption for the season, a chance for Arteta to win his first trophy, a chance of taking some form of revenge from Baku last season,
Mm-hmm.
chance for young players to pick up their first silverware, chance for Xhaka at redemption. So there are all these small stories there, and now that I'm saying this, I'm realizing that all of these stories are in play, and we're definitely not going to fuck this up. So,
Let's hope.
um,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. Let's hope for a Arsenal win, and so that we can come back and have a positive season review. At least maybe that swims it away. But yeah, like as Samrit mentioned at the start of the show, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, give us a follow on Facebook, and like us on follow us on Twitter as well. It's the Arsenal Way, and we'll hopefully see you on. I mean, hopefully both Samrit and me see you in a happier spirit.
happier spirits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Ashwin. Thank you, guys.